Hello, hello, loves. Thank you for sticking with us on part one. Here is part two of the Philosopher Stone podcast featuring James Stevens, Traveling the Road of Knowledge. Enjoy.
So thinking process means different practices. Different practices mean different behaviors because what you do frequently becomes your frequency because we got to change from that to what we go on to. And so it's just a different way of thinking. That's how we change.
There you go. That's it in a nutshell. Which I can't say
Nutshell.
nutshell because it's a lot to it.
I
It's a
know. I
whole
mean,
lot
we
to
didn't
it.
went across the universe
Dang,
today.
I
I
say
talked about a
it's,
lot.
it's yeah, I know for the podcast, but we have plenty of material. I would
Oh
like to
yeah.
share the information mostly because a lot of people don't know and they're still in this old way of thinking. I'm like, no, we leaving that behind. It's time to
Yeah.
it's time to move on.
Yeah. It's I mean you can share whatever you like to share. However you like to. I mean use it some of it for something. I don't know. But you can use it, you can have it use it for whatever you would like to use it
And
for. I'm
you got a
fairly
you have a website too, right?
yeah, actually, I have a website and we just literally just we're building a platform like
Ooh.
it's very interesting. Basically, it's primarily right now for practitioners, people that are doing healing work,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's also like the people like for the community of the people that we're actually doing the actual healing work with and
Uh-huh.
doing the classes and things like the stuff that I'm talking about here, these ideas, and I'll have
Yeah.
classes and like I have planned right now for basically a 2-year course.
Good.
Uh and it's basically what's gonna how it's gonna be laid out. First, it's all about understanding the constructs of the universe. It's about understanding the universal language of the universe, right? Because in
Mhm.
order for us to nurture ourselves, truly, we must understand what is nature. And
Yeah,
we,
exactly.
so once we understand that, then we can begin to start fully feeling, truly
Mhm.
step into the heart. Uh, and that's when the real healing takes place. The
Yeah.
real like healing, and then from that real point of doing that, then we really begin to start stepping into these showing how to do how do we say whatever modality of healing that you want to do from
Yes.
of self practice. And I have in a way it's like when I talk about what is healing, first of all, healing is going uphill, so don't say that. It's just resisting resistance of who you actually are.
Yes.
And so we get down to the bottom of it, all modalities of, let us say, healing nearly comes down to a heart-based awareness and understanding how to utilize our heart-based awareness, right?
Exactly.
And being able, when we say heart-based awareness, 0 point.
I was about to say
And
the
so
center.
that's right, tap into the center. Now think about this, the center, scent, the
Yes.
awareness, same thing, right?
Mm.
So if I said the awareness, and I'll say, well, where are you? Well, where you are is energetically. We have a physical awareness. We have an awareness that is non-physical, and that awareness is where? In the 0 point, right?
Exactly.
And the word is spirit. Spear it. What do you do with a spear?
Yeah.
You throw, right?
Yep.
So,
Exactly.
but the spirit, this idea of spear what? The center. When you're hitting the bullseye, the center. Again,
Exactly.
so spirit is talking about spirit, but spirit moves, right? We're talking about spirit, something that's moving. Again,
Right.
objective, subjective, things that are moving. Big throw, underthrow.
Yep. Objective,
Talking
subjective.
about moving objects. It's
Yeah.
just all the same ideas.
Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned that. I've been reading The Magician, The Magical Primer. Like I've been fascinated with this whole magic thing. But the book breaks it down. It's like, hey, if you think you're gonna be a wizard, it's not like that at all. And all it is literally the practice that you are doing is simply presenting things to your subconscious to break the barrier. And one of the directional points, I think it's south south, when you're facing south, it's this fiery element. It's and the spear represents that particular element. And of course, as you turn, then you have yep, then you have like the goblet. Hang on,
Yeah,
yeah, right, the goblet, and then like the shield, and I think east is
yeah.
your sword. And I'm thinking to
It's
myself,
the
like, okay,
same. Yeah,
yeah,
it's the
all of
same
this,
thing that I've been talking about. And when I was showing you that the when when under a force system, you would see you look if you look just under those four blocks, and we say it's a force system, then you can look at the four elements. You'll see four elements, but those four elements also represent geometrical shapes. Those geometrical shapes also represent uh laws of the universe, which are like mental correspondence, vibration, and polarization. And so,
and I think
like
it's 12 laws, isn't it? Like the Kabbalion, 12, is it 12?
technically there's seven.
That
I mean,
okay,
like it's a system. I mean, like I said before, you just look at if you really want to underline ideas, we go back to numbers again. And so, I mean, like so, but really, like you only need a system of seven, but a system of seven, so check this out. Let's just say you understand it. So if I said a system of 13, if I a system of 12, which is really a system of 13, or the 12 around the one.
right,
All right, we have a centering point.
yeah,
Okay. So any system has a centering point, and because that centering point is in a sense the awareness, the energy in which it actually is, in which it kind of like that's why we have the tetrahedron, which is fire, and
uh-huh,
we see the energy arising,
right.
and that's the spirit. But what comes first, we have to understand void before we understand this idea of spirit, the
That's
background in which
the
all things
starting
exist
point.
within.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you
And
have to
then
go.
from the void, then we see the fire. And then from the fire, like I said, that's that's why I made this. No. That's why I made this chart down here, because this chart, it shows you like
Yeah,
that system of four, and you can even see the system of four. It's awareness, being, common sense, and then doing. In other words, it's like first you have to have this idea of pure awareness, and then from pure awareness, and really it's the 0 point. The pure awareness is zero. If we could draw this out into a quadrant, but if I
yeah,
draw it out into a quadrant, that makes it a five system. But so in order to understand this from a three system, it would have to be this idea of the triangle,
I see.
right? So we would, in order for us to get a three system, we need a triangle in order for us to have the four system. And that's what this is. The physical body, the mental body, and emotional
Yeah,
body all channel down spirit. See, if I were to
yeah,
say these three, this is a tetrahedron, but
huh?
these concepts, these three sides here
Up the
all
whole.
represent, and you can see what's on the bottom. That's just a reflection of what is going up, right? This actually, if I animate it, it actually kind of descends. This little piece descends down here, but this is what it is: the mind, body, spirit complex,
Yes,
right?
I love this stuff.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's, but like I said, if for any system, really, you only need seven. I say seven because
Yeah,
seven really brings things to perfection, but really you only need a six system, because six brings forth perfect perfection. Like, but in order for us to have
yes, okay, that makes
transcendence,
sense.
in order for us to like perfect perfection, right? Or imperfect perfection. And then and seven would be perfect perfection, or a perfect imperfection, a perfect imperfection, and a imperfect perfection. And they're
I like
mirror
that.
in their
Yeah,
mirror. And so that's the same, like I said, numerology, right? It's like, so why is six afraid of seven?
7, 8, 9.
Seven, eight, nine. Seven really represents nine. It's a portal, it's a gateway. So see, when six looks at seven, he's seeing nine. He's seeing big bad nine, because nine is so and really nine is really just another form of the end. But as you
Yeah.
can really see, that's how you get six. You
I
have
was about to say it's just
that's
inverted.
it's an inversion.
And
That's
that
why you
starts
see
you
the
back at
seven.
1-0.
Exactly. So that's why I say really to have a system here, we're really talking about a six system from from one aspect, but then we want to take that same system and then we want to reflect that system, and then
Back.
we'll take it a 12 system, but that 12 system is really a 13 system because it's 12 around the one. Or we can really say, or we can say a 6 around one, right?
Kind of
Because
like a full
seven,
resolution back
yes,
to
because seven is this movement of energy through it.
right,
And
right.
so, and six represents also it represents an even greater level of what do I have? Oh, efficiency and versatility.
I
And so
see.
six in itself offers that efficiency and versatility,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
you take efficiency and versatility and you mirror it. And so, because when we really understand these concepts, okay, it's a concept, but then we understand both what it is and what it isn't. And so
yeah.
both didn't. So that's what gives us a 12 system. You see what I'm saying? How you
It's
can
all
look at
yeah, it's
it, how
ongoing.
you break it together and put it
Right, right. But it paints a picture. All of
picture.
it paints like a full picture, which I think that's where people are like, I don't know, having these
Yeah,
breakthroughs and stuff.
but
I'm
that's
like,
why. Yeah,
yeah,
but that's why I say you'll really need a six system. That's why the everything was created in 6 days. And it's really interesting
yeah,
because if you go into the Bible and you read the Bible, and so like it tells you that basically God created everything in 6 days, and then
yeah.
he basically destroyed it in the seventh day. It say he rested. No, he says he destroyed that motherfucker.
Destroyed
He said he
everything.
fucking
Start over.
sacrificed it. He said I sacrificed it. They was dead. Then he was like, okay, all right. Well, these are the generations of the creations. Like, and then there was another creation story after that. And it's
Yep.
like,
And
huh?
then
Now you need to go and replenish the earth. It's like, what? It just
yeah.
told you. Like
What
people
you
like,
do?
why is there a second creation story? Because God said he sacrificed.
Exactly. That's kind of like that
It's
thing where like
finished.
artists, yeah, that's like artists, that whole theory of like you kill your baby, like you
Yeah.
create something and like either
Yeah.
destroy it or give it away. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's what it is. It's a
Yeah.
creator thing.
Why do you think six afraid of seven?
So 7, 8, 9, that's
I keep
it.
telling
Yeah,
you.
too.
I
You
keep telling
consume
you.
all consuming
Oh,
number. You
it just is. But so, anyways,
that's funny.
so that's why I say that to understand these concepts and these ideas of these stories that are being painted, because
Yeah.
it's so interesting. We talk about like for us, we talk about this idea of the stars. We talk about like this that you are a star. Why? Because and it's really
Literally
built
a
into
star.
this because like literally, right? Because like
Yeah.
English language tells us, I mean, like a person per sun, each sun. Okay, that's one.
Yep.
Let's try another one. Sit a sun. Oh, there's another one. Citizen. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, soldier. Oh, soldier. Oh, there's another one. Oh,
Yep.
right.
There
Let's
you go.
there's some more. let's say let's say you're very like we talk about the idea of reason, right? You're a son. So your reason is to become a son. Hold on. A son. Shit. How do you figure this out? Simple. Right? I mean, like,
Right, right.
so what
It
is
makes sense.
right? And so the all of this stuff is talking about this. Well, what is this idea of becoming a star,
Right.
right? And this the story, and every single thought process can be boiled down to two concepts:
Yep.
vice versus virtue. And so the story has to do with either how somebody's virtuous or not so virtuous and embraces virtues in order to get past whatever vice that is there that provided. So that's it's a story of
Story.
embodying virtue.
Yes.
Okay. So when we talk about gods, they're just different virtues of the Godhead. Ooh. And so then when we talk about, okay, well, how does that relates to us?
Right. Like, what does it really mean?
what does that really mean? Right. And because we say, well, son is a child. But
Mm,
then, but is a child, but then a son, we say, well, but we're on a planet. People talk about what a star seed. So if you were a
yeah, yeah.
star, then you need to be planet. Well, when you put a star seed, how do you grow a star seed? A star. You put it on a planet. Oh shit. Okay,
Right.
you got a planet on a planet and star seed and shit. That's how you make stars. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
Right,
it's
right.
like, so like, I
Harvest
mean,
season.
yeah, right. But like it's all a story.
Yeah.
Even like the idea of, let's say, like King Arthur, right? So King Arthur, let's just take any story. Let's just take the idea, the words that contain uh these ideas. Arthur, what is an Arthur, right? Well, Arthur and King Arthur, we have, or any story, we have characters, and there's an Arthur that writes a story, right? So we can
Air
say
actor.
Arthur is a char actor, right?
Mm.
And char means to burn, actor, action. So what is a char actor?
Ooh.
What's charring? Well, a star is when it's what it does is when it's almost about to explode, it has carbon. It has carbon inside of it.
Star.
And it's burning. You know, we think about this idea of burning or charring
Right.
movement. So a
Mm.
character or a char actor, that's a star. A
Aha.
char actor is a star.
Star, literally a
That's
star.
that's exactly what it is, right? So
Whew.
even Arthur, her story, flip the words. I mean her Arthur, her art, right? Arthur, her art. So that's what it is. Her art. We say artificial, her art, spirit,
Yeah.
feminine. It's the whole constructs in the language, and it's real interesting. Like, check this out. So if so words, so this idea of words, and we talk about English. So you ever heard somebody say, well, what angle are you coming from? Like, what
Yes.
angle, right? So if words are angles or angels, then what are arc angles?
Mm. Ooh. Hmm.
Colors.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I
Colors.
think of like a rainbow, like an arc, and
Yeah,
then
colors.
oh
Arc
wow,
angles. Arc angles.
light.
So
And you have to
just
have
like the
light to
idea,
see colors.
and it's just like the idea of what an angel or angle is, and just as to understand what a angle, so you have square, which is angles, and you have circles, which are arc angles. Circles don't have angles, they have arc angles, not angles. They have arc angles.
Right.
So the same way we have archangels, we have arc angles or circular movement or spiralar movement. That's what I'm saying. Is like, you see how the words are all the
Yeah,
same. Don't
everything is.
you?
Yeah, it puts you on a
It's
different
all the
level.
same things. They're all the same things.
I can talk
Just,
about this all day,
I know.
all night,
It's
rather.
almost 2 hours now.
I know.
So
I
I
better
think
let you go.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and James on this episode of the Philosopher's Stone podcast, brought to you by Blue Fox. Peace, love, and namaste, my friends.